Hi there, my name is Robin, welcome to my Minecraft world. In our last episode we didn't get around to touring the factory I just built, so we'll do it now. And we're gonna start with the gatehouse because that's where it all began. Now I normally find deciding on the scale of a Minecraft build quite tricky, but not this time, because I used the little square window panes in the photo and translated each of them to a full glass block in game. Then it was a question of turning this middle part in between the top windows into 1 or 2 blocks. I went for 2 and I added in the grey beams that support the windows. And voila, I pretty much had my scale for the building. Next, I had to decide what features of the original to include. The round window up top was an absolute must, same for the rain pipes as well as the relief in and on the walls. For the horizontal line up here I used buttons, and then for this part in the vertical line all the way to the bottom I opted for wall blocks. I deviated a bit from the original, I admit, especially in the part under the roof, but I think it turned out alright. I attached the factory's mailbox to this fence pole and added a pile of rubbish bags to the right. I'm not sure whether it's collection day or somebody has been littering, but it gives that lived-in look. Compared to the previous episode, the fence got quite an upgrade. Well, actually I should say downgrade, because it now has a lot of holes in it. Fitting for an old building, but also just plain practical, because now I have many more entry and exit points into the factory. I've used quite some darker, mostly terracotta blocks in the wall, like right there under the ledge of the roof and to the left of each window. This is to give the illusion of shade. The driveway is a bit empty for the moment. I plan to add in a cart filled with honeycomb needed for the candles, but I've never built a cart before, so I'll need some time to come up with a design. Not that I had a design to build my first ever custom tree, that one over there, but I think it's looking good, maybe in need of some companions though. If we walk along here, I added lots of flowers and plants and a bed, so I have a nearby place to sleep. I was going to create some type of swing, but there just wasn't enough space, so it will stay like this at least for now. Might remember this golem, he's the one who saved me from the savage pillagers last episode, so I named him Hero. Over here is an area for the factory workers where they can eat and relax, with a barbecue, a buffet full of desserts, and an open bar. The atmosphere is quite festive, so I'm thinking of adding a garland or two with lanterns, maybe banners, microblocks perhaps, I don't know yet. This opening here provides easy access to the top floor. It will once I put in a bubble later, but the top floors are empty for now, so there's no need. The beehive over here in the corner deserves a mention because it's the one I removed to make room for the road up front. And then we have another overview, at least if we go out of this fence and then climb up here. Some terraforming still needs to be done in this area, but that's for the future. So because this was a blank wall with not much going on, I decided to turn it into some sort of billboard. In future the contents are likely to change, but for now it holds an overview of the flowers that I can and cannot easily farm in this world. The empty frames on the bottom row are for any confirmed 1.20 editions. As far as I know, 3 new flowers will be coming to the game, but of course I'm always hoping for more. We're back where we started. Let's go in. This is the stairwell. Under the stairs I've left space in case I want to expand below ground, and to the right is the main factory floor. 5 candle makers reside here, each with their own little work area and with easy access to the resources they need to do their jobs. In the back corners are access points to the upper floors, but like the one outside, they're very much unfinished. The rectangle in the floor marks out the area where I will be putting in a candle making contraption that will be suspended from the ceiling and will take up all this space. If I ever put a farm in the basement, I might turn this part of the floor into glass so you can look into the farm from up here. The upper floors are completely empty. Originally I wanted to put a sheep farm up here on the top floor, but I could not get it to fit nicely within the available space, especially if I also wanted an auto sorter, so that plan has been put on hold. The view from up here is really nice though. I toyed with the idea to put the auto sorter on the first floor in this area and keep the sheep up at the top. But again, I don't really have the space, not if I want to farm and auto sort all 16 colors. Last thing I want to point out are the windows, where I continued with the illusion of shade started on the walls by adding black glass to the darker corners. Where there's a lantern and each windowsill has one, I opted for yellow glass closest to the lantern, which then fades into white, light grey and grey glass blocks. I feel it makes for a far more interesting look. So, what do you think of this build? If you have any suggestions on what to do with the upper floors, please let me know. While I was building the candle factory, the sheep farm ran non-stop, so I now have 6 shulkers full of wool and I'm wondering how far I'm gonna get. Placing the carpets in a straight line has to be faster, but personally I quite enjoy to make a mess of it. Last carpets are going in. Done. That went very quick and it's looking rather green. Let's update the map. I want to lock it, but that's not something I can do now because I wasn't expecting to finish this today, so I didn't bring any of the resources. So let's go back. The sheep can do a re-dye. I know I said this is a temporary farm and it really is, but I also need a lot of yellow wool, so keeping the farm for now seems like a good idea. Okay, re-dyeing the sheep is actually quite time consuming. I have to remove blocks to reach them first of all, but then I also have to wait until they've eaten and grown a coat, because you can't re-dye sheared sheep. I've tried, but I can't reach the middle sheep, the ones right in front of the dispensers, so they will remain mine green. Also think I might have made a mistake when I re-dyed some of the sheep. I flipped open the trapdoor, re-dyed the sheep, then closed the trapdoor again. But I think by opening the trapdoor I might have moved the sheep's hitbox out of the dispenser's reach, so I'll have to check and report back in future, because maybe those sheep are not getting sheared anymore. So I now have this very beautiful piece of lime green map art. If you're curious to know what I'm gonna do with it, check out my next episode when it airs. This is all from me for now. Thank you very much for watching. Shout out to Minecraft content creator Waxfruit for letting me use his music, and goodbye.